Greetings and salutations, everybody, and happy 2025. It's so nice to be back. I know it's been a couple weeks since I made a video. If I'm being honest, I've been kind of busy. I went home to Detroit, Michigan over the breaks and all that stuff, and I had a really good Christmas and a really good New Year's holiday. I got a chance to sit down and kind of think about what I want to do for my next video and in the future of this channel, and I want to do this, right? I just want to sit here and I want to yap and be freaking stupid and give you guys my honest opinion of cameras, because it is it's my passion. So welcome back to the next one. I'm really excited for this video. I'm gonna put together a little intro and all that stuff. If you guys have already seen it, I'm really happy about that. I hope you guys liked it, because I really do like this camera. But with that being said, hey, let's get to the review. All right, y'all. So the review for today, of course, is this little guy right here. See that? Yeah, this little guy right here. The Polaroid 3000AF. This is her. Beautiful camera. I freaking love this thing. That's her. But yeah, this little thing right here is freaking awesome. You know what I mean? I know you guys hear me say that a lot, but this camera right here is great. It definitely has a few things that I would like to bring up about it. Being the first, that it's a point and shoot, right? And it has a fixed lens, a fixed 35mm lens, right? And it is and it's autofocus. Actually, I take that back. It's not 35mm. I don't know what the lens is, but this lens right here, it's pretty wide angle. Like if you do one of these, you can take a selfie of yourself and your friends and all that stuff pretty easily. It has a mode to where you can press this right here, and you can and it'll if it's really bright outside, it'll compensate with that. But the thing about this camera that's really interesting is that it's supposedly a panoramic, right? It's kind of ghetto, if I'm being honest with you. See, it's a switch right up here, right here. So with that switch, you can push it down, and then you'll get the full frame, and then you can push it back, and you get the panoramic, right? So this camera right here is actually, for me, stuck in the panoramic mode because I dropped it. I dropped it at a party, and it never went back. But hey, I bought it so I could have the gimmick, and I could say, hey, I have a fake panoramic camera. You know what I mean? So that's what it does. It's a point and shoot camera, so you can't edit any of the settings on the camera and all that. But what you can do is you can kind of cater the exposure the way that you want to do it and all that, because this camera does have a fatal flaw, and I know a lot of you guys are like, oh, it's gonna have that, right? But you cannot turn off the flash on this camera. You can't. Even if you hold this button down and if you press it, it's still gonna always pop, right? And this flash is very intense. It's a very intense poppy flash. I'll throw up some pictures on the video so you guys can see just how intense it is. Like it has the ability to kind of manipulate situations that are totally normal. But in my opinion, I like that. I really do like that. I am gonna throw that into one of the cons of this camera, is that you can't turn that off, right? But it's pretty cool, man. I think it allows you to be creative. What I usually do is, if I'm trying to take a picture with no flash, I'll just do one of these. You know what I mean? And then even sometimes I have some tape that I'll just tape over right there, put it right there, so when it's there, it doesn't pop flash. You know what I mean? Or it'll pop it, but it won't be noticeable. Other than that, this camera is very simple. My digital little screen on the back right there, it shows you, how much. It's supposed to show you how many shots you have left and all that stuff. And you can do a few things with it, but mine doesn't work. Honestly, you don't really need it. You'll be able to, on this screen right here, it does a really good job at showing you all your shots, and it's super easy to use. One of the things that does kind of suck in this camera is loading it. It looks simple on the outside, you know what I mean? But when you actually crack this thing open to load it, it kind of, like it'll fight you a little bit, right? And you'll be like, you know, sometimes you'll be like, oh, am I using too much film to put in here? And like, oh shit, like am I, you know, doing that stuff, etc. But once it catches it, this camera, man, it's super simple, man. And then like when you're done shooting it, you just do this thing on the back, push that thing to the side, and then you'll hear like a little winding sound, and you'll be able to, you know, just have your film automatically wind it back out, and you know, you can take yourself to the store and get it developed and all that stuff. But yeah, this camera is freaking amazing, right? I'm kind of moving into the honest things that I like about it, you know what I mean? Its size, right? This camera is the perfect size. That's why I call it the college kid's camera. You know what I mean? This camera is durable. You know, I know earlier I said I dropped it and the thing doesn't work, but that's the beauty with these cameras. You don't buy a camera like this, right? If you're not gonna take it everywhere and drop it and get liquor on it and beer on it, or take it to a party, or take it to, you know, a Christmas event, etc. Right? This is the reason you buy this camera. This camera is it excels in that field. Every single time, you know, I was in college and I went to, you know, a party at my fraternity, or when I went to a Christmas shindig for, you know, like my family and all that, this was the only camera I brought. And a lot of people are like, oh, but you have a Canon P, oh, you have a Fuji X Pro 3 with a flash, why didn't you do that, etc. Like, when you use those cameras, it just doesn't feel like this one, right? This camera is in my mind a reloadable disposable camera, and sometimes having that, you know, disposable look, that honest and kind of, you know, not perfect look of those memories on those special days, it's just absolutely like it does something, you know what I mean? It does something to your mind, and it honestly brings back nostalgia, you know what I mean? This camera was with me every single party, every single event in college, and it took a picture, right? You buy these cameras for it to take a picture, and I'm not talking about, you know, like the perfect picture. You guys know what picture I'm talking about. Like, you know, if you have the confidence that if you are, you know, inebriated or anything like that, if you point this at something and press the button, there will be a picture that comes out, and a picture that is nostalgic, a picture that you can feel, a picture that is grainy, a picture that will have those memories kind of shrouded in this nostalgia forever, right? And this is what that camera does. This camera is really good at doing that, better than any film camera that I own, besides, honestly, if I bought a disposable camera. But this one still has a different look. It's magic in this lens. And I know it's a Polaroid, so, you know, they're a really good camera company and all that, but it's something about the 3000AF that is just so honestly, like, perfect, you know what I mean? And the flaws honestly make it even more perfect. Like the fact that you can't turn off the flash, the fact that you have to do this, you have to do that. But if I handed this camera to my little sister, if I handed it to a random person at a party, or if I handed it to, you know, one of my coworkers at, you know, the Christmas party, and they put it up to their eye, they could take a picture that looked like anybody else. And that is another thing that draws me to this camera. It's so easy. It's so easy to use. It's so fun to use. It's so intuitive to use. Hearing the shutter pop, and then hearing the, you know, film cycle through. It's very analog. You can feel the camera vibrating when you do that. It's made of cheap plastic, you know what I mean? So it's not like I've dropped this camera in a toilet before, you know what I mean? TMI, right? Like but I have, and it came out and it worked. You know what I mean? Like this thing is it's cheap, but it's cheap in the way that like they don't want you to feel scared using it. They want you to just be able to, you know, take this anywhere, you know what I mean? And that's one of the biggest reasons why having a disposable camera in your arsenal as a film photographer, or even like a new photographer, like my college kids out there who are, hopefully this video found you, right? And you're like, dude, I need a, you know, camera that's, you know, like Kylie Jenner has, you know, one of those contacts, point and shoots, right? Kim Kardashian has one of those contacts, right? You know what I mean? One of those cameras that you could just put in your coat pocket, take with you anywhere you want to go, but, you know, you don't have the money to say, you know, $700+ on a camera that's, you know, diminishing returns in film, right? Get one of these, right? This thing is cheap as hell. Like, dude, I got this thing from a thrift store for $15. and like I'll post the picture of it for my Instagram story and everything on it. But this thing was $15 when I got it, you know, a couple years ago. And if you go on eBay right now, I'll throw up, you know, the prices on the screen. This thing is less than $50 for a good, you know, example of one that actually has the, you know, the thing on the top work, you know, maybe one that even has the digital screen on the back work, you know what I mean? And on top of that, this camera's not that old, you know what I mean? This camera's pretty you know, recent in the film era, right? Like this camera, I don't think it was made in the 90s. I'll put the year on the screen and all that stuff just so I don't give you guys misinformation. But this camera, I believe, was made in the early 2000s, and it's what the, you know, the most advanced film cameras made, right? It may look stupid, it may look like a little brick, you know, a little cute little brick, but this thing is freaking it's pretty cool, man. Like it's never missed a frame of film, it's never been inaccurate in how many shots I have, and it's never died on me, you know what I mean? I took the batteries out of this camera because I did have it stored for a little bit after the holidays and all that stuff. I usually do try to take out the batteries of all of my cameras just so I can avoid corrosion if it sits for a little while. This camera's never corroded, you know what I mean? Like I never really had that issue with it, but you know, still, if you have a battery filled camera and you know this thing corrodes, then you don't have a camera anymore. So always take the batteries out. But other than that, man, you know, those are kind of like my big things about the camera when it comes to the cons. You know, biggest con of the camera being you can't turn off the flash, but that's a blessing and a curse because it forces you to be a little bit more creative. You know, pros, you know, the size, the price, the freaking pictures, the nostalgic value you get out of this, the ease of use. You can give it to anybody if you're going to a party and you want to, you know, like, you know, take it into a bar with your friends and all that stuff. Like, you'll never have to worry about this camera like anywhere, you know what I mean? Just put it around your wrist. If it hits the wall, it hits the wall. If it falls, it falls. If you spill water on it and all that stuff, you spill water on it, right? This camera will always, you know, pick it up and move forward. You know, kind of give you guys my final recommendation, my final, you know, tips on this camera. I really do want to like foot stomp this, right? This camera is made for the college kid who is looking to get into film and get those nostalgic memories, but don't want to go to the store and buy a disposable camera every single day. If you want a reloadable disposable camera that's able to not only capture beautiful photos without being at, you know, events, like I take this thing on nature walks with me all the time, right? Like just a camera you can just mindlessly put in your coat pocket and move forward with. Like this is the perfect camera for you. It's absolutely amazing. It's cheap, you know what I mean? You can buy one of these for you, one of these for your girls, one of these for your you know, husband or your significant other. It doesn't matter, right? Like because they're that cheap and they're that available, you know. They're super easy to use, super fun to use, and honestly, like I absolutely love this camera. It's one of my, it's up there with my Canon P. Like it's been with me forever. The, you know, pictures I got out of this camera are legendary. They're some of my favorites I've ever taken of all, you know, anybody in my life. You know, every single time I look at the pictures I had with this camera, or the memories I had with this camera, I should say, it's nostalgic, and sometimes like it's like the sad nostalgia, right? Like you can taste the environment you were in, you can still have the smells, you can, you know, it brings you back, you know, down memory lane. And that's, as a photographer, and all the photographers out there who are watching this, you guys know what that means. You guys know what, you know, looking back at your old work and looking back at work that's so nostalgic means to you, right? Like this camera does that, and it does it well, you know. So I really, you know, I really do want to foot stomp, like if you're a college kid out there, or if you're just a, you know, a niche photographer, hobbyist photographer, or professional photographer even, I mean, you're looking for a camera that is cheap, it can get you into the point and shoot market of things, especially in film. Every film photographer should have a point and shoot, and I will die on that hill, you know what I mean? Get you a Polaroid 3000AF. This camera's awesome. It doesn't miss. It does not miss focus. It has a fixed focus. Everything's always in focus. I believe that the lens is always at some sort of f8-ish, so everything's usually always in focus. It has a very strong flash. Everything is, you're always gonna get a picture. You know what I mean? So I hope that you guys really enjoyed the video. I hope that you guys enjoyed being able to hear me talk about this camera right here. And I hope that I inspired you guys all to get one of these, because, you know, if I have to be the person that makes this camera go up in price, I don't mind, because honestly, the more people that have this camera and the more people that are enjoying how good this camera is, the happier I am, because it's a gem, and I do feel like it should be in the forerunners of nice point and shoot cameras that, you know, take nostalgic and awesome pictures. You know what I mean? I really appreciate you guys for watching this video. Over the past few weeks, it has been, you know, life-changing for me, watching my camera, I mean, not my camera, watching my channel grow from around like 56 subscribers all the way to 200 plus. It's sobering, and it shows me that whatever I'm doing out there, it's resonating with somebody, right? And I want to keep that up. I want to keep that up. So if you guys have any, you know, questions about the camera, or if you guys have any recommendations of videos that you guys want me to do in the near future, put that in the comments, right? I'm here to serve you guys. I want this, you know, channel to, you know, be a nice place that you guys can come, you know, chill out, have, you know, have a beer, have a coffee, or, you know, just have a laugh. You know what I mean? Listen to me talk about these, you know, stupid cameras, man, you know. So again, I am so very, you know, thankful for you guys. This is the first video 2025, and I'm saying it right now, I don't have any plans on stopping. It's only up from here. In the next couple weeks, I'm gonna drop another video, probably on my Mamiya RV67. I'm really excited for that video. That camera is, you know, it's made me, you know, it made me into a photographer, right? It's the first film camera I've ever bought with money. So I'm really excited, you know, for what's in store in the next couple weeks and even 2025. So again, guys, thank you for everything. Thank you guys for, you know, always showing love. Thank you guys for having honest discussions about, you know, my flaws or the camera's flaws in the comments of my videos. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this one, and, you know, here's to the next time. I appreciate you guys, and you guys have a good 2025, and I look forward to seeing you guys in future videos.